So Bel-Air is back, and I wanted to talk about some things in the show, but I can't do that without giving a spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen the show yet, go watch it, come back. But for now, I just wanted to discuss some spoilers. First of all, I'm just happy that this show is getting a final season, as in it's getting a final conclusion. It's not getting canceled like a lot of shows with all black cast seem to do these days. So it's getting its treatment of saying its story in a proper conclusion. And I love how Peacock is dropping the episodes too, because Netflix is doing that thing where they drop a batch of episodes 1 month and then they drop the other batch a month later. With Peacock, I love how they're dropping 3 episodes this week, the next 3 episodes next week, and then the last two the week after. So it'll be more fresh in our minds when we're watching this, you know what I mean? And quite frankly, when it came to the first episode, it got us back on track. Yeah, I had me thinking too, actually, as I'm thinking about it, had me thinking about how Will got caught up in that situation of getting kidnapped. And I'm so glad they told the story the way they did, because I don't think the entire season could really talk about Will being kidnapped and all the time that passed. Like, they couldn't dedicate an episode to that, is what I mean. So I'm glad that they just had it in a way where it's kind of like PTSD. Anytime Will got hit or was getting tapped or whatever the case, like, it was really putting you in his shoes in that moment. And I also love that showing Will having the aspirations to want to go to UCLA or USC, Carlton to want to go to Princeton, or Lisa wanting to go to Howard University, HU. You know, I didn't go to Howard University, but I did visit the campus when I went to an all black college tour. So I always just wanted to make sure I had a piece of that with me. And I'm glad that I can show that when I'm talking about this show, that is. I thought it was pretty crazy though that Carlton, for him to want to get into Princeton, he decided to say a mirror story just so that he could squeeze that extra grit, so to speak, like that one guy that was interviewing him. It just makes me just think about how like this show is filled with characters who lie, and that's definitely part of the intrigue with this show. Ashley made my mouth drop when it came to Aunt Viv being pregnant again, because it's like, what? Why did you? The way that she's like, yeah, I'm going back into painting, and she just flat out said, oh, wait, so you're not pregnant? Like, what? So I'm sure by the time it's the finale, after we go through all these loops and hurdles with this season, we're going to see baby Nikki be born into the show, and that'll be the conclusion, at least when it comes to Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. I'm really curious how Hillary is going to handle just the rest of the season after being in Costa Rica and everything. Like, it's really unfortunate what happened to Lamarcus, but hopefully she'll learn to move on. But hopefully whether her and Jazz get back together, hopefully they can be cool again, because, yeah, that's not a bond that I want to see just end in toxicity. Speaking of toxic, again, when it comes to Carlton, I just gotta say, when it comes down to him and Amira, it's just like, make up your mind, bro, because you didn't know if you wanted to be with old girl at the homecoming dance, but here he was going back and forth, always looking at her. It's like, make up your mind. And I'm definitely jumping ahead because I could talk all day about the first 3 episodes, but one thing I can appreciate, and I might make a separate video on this, but I can appreciate that they did discuss some books between Will and Lou. And I'm talking about, of course, when Will was talking about a book that changed his life and it changed mine, The Four Agreements. Like I said, especially in this video, you can't really see it too much, but The Four Agreements changed my life and I encourage it. I think it was last season they even talked about The Alchemist, which I know this is a book that Will Smith in real life himself had said changed his life. So yeah, love that they push reading in the show. Now this might be a hot take, but when it comes to what's going on with Jeffrey, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying I do think that's a weaker part of the show. Now, again, that's an unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it is, but I'm more interested in the family dynamic. And I know with this being a dramatized version of Fresh Prince, like you have to find a way to add like that extra grit, just like that guy interviewing Carlton for Princeton. But regardless, it is something that I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing and I can appreciate it, but it is my least favorite aspect. But again, it's keeping the ball rolling as far as this show going. And I also like too that they showed a flashback of how Phil and Jeffrey met each other. That was nice to see them, like, in their younger days, even though it was just 18 years ago, but they were still younger regardless. So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to quickly touch on those 3 episodes. They had me entertained, had me intrigued, and I'm very curious what's going to happen in the next 3 episodes, let alone the last 2 episodes we get. And yeah, like I said, I'll definitely sound off on how it's kind of sad that the show is ending, but I'm just glad that, again, it's getting its proper conclusion. So that said, have y'all seen Bel-Air yet? What do you think about it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And what do you think is going to happen in the next few episodes? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments. Let's discuss. And as always, just let me know.